Good afternoon and welcome to Sports Talk. It is Saturday, April 9, 2022. I am Daniel Blake. Thank you so much for joining me. As you should know, Sports Talk is brought to you by the Jamaica Customs Agency, Country Above Self. It is the Champs edition of Sports Talk. Well, you never hear me last week, but now you're hearing me this week, which is obviously good. And what a way to come back. So remember, you can listen to me live on your radio. You should know that. You should also know that you can download the Love 101 FM app in the Google Play or the App Store. You can go in your browser, love101.org. Or if you want to see me live, you can watch me on Facebook and YouTube. Hello, everybody. So nice to see you. From anywhere you're listening in Jamaica, in the Caribbean, wherever you are around the world, I don't take it for granted that you have tuned in. So thank you so much for joining me. You can WhatsApp me 876-997-3125, 876-997-3125. Or if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, you can leave your comments in the comment section. Everything about Champs. So we're on the final day of Champs. Tell me what you've thought about Champs so far. If you've had a particular race, if you want to big up your school, whatever it is, leave it in the comment section on Facebook or YouTube, or 876-997-3125. Message me anything about Champs and I will read it on air. All right. So you know that usually I have my monologue and everything set up. But this week I can't bother with the bag of chatting, since it's Champs, right? So I am going to actually just go straight into my interview. So for those who have been watching Champs for the last 4 or 5 days, well, the fifth day don't start yet. So the last 4 days, you may hear this man's voice in the background when you're hearing like the athletes being announced. His name is Donald Smith, a noted track and field commentator, analyst, everything. So I spoke to him earlier this morning because if you see me wear the same shirt in the interview, it's because it happened this morning. I did bait. All right. So we spoke about some of the top events and top performances that we've seen so far in the championship. So tune in and listen to what Donald had to say, starting with the race of the championship. Well, I wouldn't want to say the race of the championship, but it was definitely the most look forward to race of the championship, which was the girls' class 100 meters. So I started off by asking him about that. Let's start with I guess the main draw, as everyone would say, the class 100 meter girls, Brianna Liston versus Tia Clayton, super times coming in. But in the end, Tina Clayton just gets the better of Brianna Liston. There were talks that it could be the first class 100 meters to do sub 11. But what was your overall thoughts on the race?
All right. Well, first of all, I think that this is possibly the first Champs since championships have been combined, which was in 1999, where the girls actually have gotten such a big billing in terms of the 100 meter sprint at championships. So that was good to begin with. In the semifinals, I did not see the race live. I was driving to the stadium at the time. But when I saw the replay of the race, I realized that Liston, that's the semifinal where Liston and Tina Clayton were in. And Liston was smooth, shut it down. There's a decent gap between her and Tina. And subsequent to the final of the event, I saw a picture circulating. I hope it's not doctored, but it shows a smiling Tina Clayton in the semifinals.
Sorry.
Behind Liston. And I was like, this suggests that she knew exactly what she was going to do in that particular final. And the thing is that as sports analysts, sports commentators, sometimes we do get carried away, but we tend to forget that when somebody is a champion, a world champion, you should sometimes second guess any doubts you may have about them because you don't know what they'll bring to the table when the moment comes. Tina Clayton, 11:09 at her best, albeit at altitude, is the reigning world under 20 champion for the 100 meters. So we should have never really doubted, no matter what we saw Liston with. And even to put it into further perspective, Liston has not run as much as Tina has this season. So running rounds may have helped Tina, get the better of Liston. The race itself, that particular final, I think that we would have had a very low 11-second clocking or a high sub 10 clocking, sub 11 clocking rather. So, 11-second clocking and a very high sub 11 clocking. Many persons were saying that the national junior record 10.97 Brianna Williams would have been broken or equaled, and at worst 11 seconds flat. The wind decided that it wasn't going to play with us and gave us, for every other race in the 100 meters, the wind was almost perfect. And for that particular race, the big event, a negative 2.8 meters per second wind. When you correct that for the time that was run, you're looking at potentially 11.03 seconds if it was like a 0.5 wind thereabout. So, albeit though, I think that it was still a good race. It was very competitive. And another thing that many persons may not have seen is that while Tina won and Liston was so close to her, both their forms went through the window. The techniques were poor for the 100 meters, but we still got an epic race, and I think that's what mattered in the end. And this is good for girls champs. I think that the girls sometimes must feel like they're being neglected. And even when you're at the stadium and you're making announcements for one of the races on the girls' side, the cheers are not as loud. But once it's the boys, they hear, but I'm glad that for once they have gotten some attention.
Yeah. Brianna Liston, she is the obvious favorite for the 200 meters after missing out on the 100, and no Clayton twins in that. Pretty comfortable in the heats, 23.04. Simone faces record 22.71 set a while back now.
Yeah.
Is it almost a foregone conclusion, depending on the conditions, that she's going to shatter that record?
Well, so I'm going to think that I would learn from Wednesday evening's 100-meter final when the wind decided that it was going to play that card on us. We saw it even with Michael O'Hara some years ago, where he shattered the class 2 200-meter record, but the wind speed didn't give him the right to hold that record. And I hope that the conditions this afternoon are okay, that if she runs fast, which I'm expecting her to do, that it gives her a legal win to break that record. But based on what I'm seeing, that 22.71 should go. It should go. I don't know what the coach's instructions are. I don't know if Heidel is trying to push for championships. Remember that she'll have the 4x1 later on in the evening. Yeah. So I don't know what the coach's instructions are, but I think if it's a case where we know you can get the record, which she has run faster than the record already this season. So by all means, go for it. And if the conditions are there, it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah. I'm expecting a super race. We thought that Liston, well, she does have the chance to be the fastest if she does break that record. But the fastest girl that we've seen so far, Kerry Cahill, in the class 2, 11.16, equaling Kevona Davis's record, just short of VCB's, that's Veronica Campbell-Brown's 11.13 class 1 record. She returned in the 100-meter hurdles last night, 12.89, breaking the 12.9 record. Just how special is Kerry Cahill?
Whoa, I think you used the right word. She's special. She's a treasure. She's very quick. She has great technical ability. If you looked at her form in the 100, the flat 100, you know, she doesn't lose a lot technical wise. And I think that 11.16, if she had, I think she's going to be first year class one next year. If she had another year in class two, that record is gone. Um, I actually thought it was actually broken after the race ended, but equaling it is just as good. It's a big run. But as I said, technical wise, she's as good as it gets at this level. And talking about her hurdling, so there's one thing with being fast on the flat 100, but no putting hurdles in front of you to manage your speed going over barriers is equally as impressive. And she did it with supreme ease, smooth, efficient, and fluent over the hurdles. And that 12.89, I think again, if conditions are right tonight or this later this afternoon, that 12.89 is going to be even lowered. And the world youth best, which she now shares with compatriot Akira Nugent, may very well belong to her at the end of today's day 5 of championships. But she is a treasure, and I'm just hoping that her caretakers continue to mold her and take care of her, because she's a talent. She's a talent. And I think the difficulty that she may have going forward is deciding, do I focus on the hurdles or do I do the flat 100 meters or do I do both? So that is something that she'll have to make a decision on. But she's very young. That decision doesn't have to come anytime soon.
Yeah. So for the boys, 100 meters in all the classes, not the most outstanding times like years gone by, but the class 1 final, Brian Lavelle took the event in 10.25. But he was made to work by Casey's newbie and DeAndre Daly of Herbert Morrison. What did you think of that race?
All right, so this particular race was very interesting. Inside the announcer's box, and this is just an inside story, inside the announcer's box before the race started, many of us had Boaji and Krumi as medaling in the race, the KC captain.
Yeah.
And, we all came to that conclusion because we think that whenever it comes to a major championships, he somehow finds a way to medal, even when the times coming in are from other athletes are better than his. I mean, this season was probably an anomaly where he did have a very good time coming into champs. But we thought that he would have medaled. At the start of it, he slipped. I think the explanation was that it seemed as if he had his spike down. So when he got up in his drive phase, the spike probably got stuck on the track a bit. And had he been probably taller, he'd probably topple over. Thankfully, that didn't happen. And he was able to continue in the race, albeit not impact the top 3. Lavelle, I think Lavelle, his name tells you what type of person he is. He's very level-headed. He seems to be really unbothered by distractions in a race. And I think this 100 meters characterize his whole demeanor, because everything was happening around him, and he somehow managed to ignore the noise and delivered when it counted. And I'm happy for the young man. Doesn't talk a lot. He will give you a smile now and again, but he's very good. And I think that the 100 meters is not his event. It's not his pet event. He started at 400 meters and he's supreme at 200 meters. So 100 meters, in my opinion, is almost like experimenting at this time. Almost like an Antonio Watts, but he can go places in it. Newbie. Let me leave newbie for last. DeAndre Daly of Herbert Morrison, who got the bronze. A big story for him. Injuries from class 3 coming right up. This season, he seemed to have shaken all of that off and came to the party big. We saw it at character trials. And we're seeing it here again at championships. Didn't win, didn't get the silver, but he got the bronze. And I think in his mind, that is a win, because he would have known all the injury concerns that he would have had over the years, and to come to championships when many persons thought that, who is beyond this DeAndre Daly? But, he reminded us who he really was and his
Yeah.
talent, and I'm just happy for him. I have a soft spot for Sandre Davison. He went to my alma mater. He goes to my alma mater, St. Catherine. So, I was hoping that he could have gotten a medal. Not able to do so, but has a big heart, and I hope that he can do something in the 200 meters. Now to Javon Newby. Who is Javon Newby? In the character trials, strangely enough, Newby was entered at character trials. I think he ran 10.41 in the semis or the final. And we didn't even know that he was from KC because he was pretty much running unattached. Come to championships, we saw this newbie and I was like, so we started to ask persons, who is this newbie? And we finally got an answer after the semifinals. The story is that newbie was a part of the KC team, wasn't able to wasn't being considered to even run this season, at least in the sprints. A lot of things were happening within the camp as it relates to him, where his potential in comparison to other persons. So he was lower down the pecking order, for want of a better phrase. He went elsewhere to train and came to character trials. KC Massive saw him, and the rest is history. Got a silver. This youth is really a talent. I think he starts there 4x1 as well, and in the semis he gave them a significant lead. So he's definitely one to watch. I would point out though, and if he's listening or if his handlers listening to this, keep doing what you're doing because it's clearly working. Think about it though, Daniel. I mean, if you tell somebody that, hey, you're just not good enough at this point in time, and then 2-3 months down the road, this person is better than everybody else who was ahead of him, then he must be doing something right outside of the environment that pushed him aside. So I think that this youngster is one to watch for the future as well. A big surprise for many. I did not have him medaling. I didn't even see him in the top 3, to be honest. But definitely a talent, Javon Newby, Kingston College.
All right, so we'll hear more from Donald after the break. So stay with me. It is Champs Saturday right here on Sports Talk on Love 101.
Stakeholders, items exported temporarily for repairs or for commercial use must first be registered with the Jamaica Customs Agency using an electronic customs declaration EX2 completed by a customs approved agent. Re-imported items which are upgraded, altered, or replaced may attract a customs duty. For customs related matters, you may email public.relations@jca.gov.jm or telephone 876-922-51408. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Do you have a heart condition? Your care should be in the hands of our experienced cardiovascular team at Partners Interventional Center of Jamaica. We're one of the leading heart centers for angiogram, stenting, pacemakers, EP studies, and ablation therapy. PICJ has the expertise and latest technology to treat all your heart needs. Call 876-995-7425 or email info@pic-jm.com for appointments. PICJ, your partners for life. Jamaicans, it's our Diamond Jubilee, 60 years of independence, and the cultural powerhouse JCDC is searching for Jamaica's next gospel star. The JCDC is now accepting entries for the Jamaica Gospel Star competition. Share your ministry in song. Submit your video performance of a cover or original song of 2.5 minutes. Visit the JCDC's website and social media pages for details to register and upload your entry. Deadline extended to Friday, April 15. Are you the next gospel star?
Speaking of Kingston College, Jadon Hibbert, 7.87 to win the long jump. A world-leading junior mark, 16.66 in the triple jump. He's done a few interviews afterwards, said that he was basically crying every single night up to champs, didn't practice the triple jump before champs. You saw him in Kenya when he got that silver. How impressed are you by him? Because watching him, his technique, his jump phases, to me look so clean compared to jumpers of old, and even some of the jumpers that he's competing against now.
Daniel hit the nail on the head. I don't know. I think I posted a video earlier on Twitter that I took while in Kenya of his I think it was his second round jump in the final of the triple jump. And there was something that prompted me. I don't know if because he was Jamaican and he was close to where our commentary setup was, but I decided that I'm going to video the event or that particular jump. And I was shocked and impressed. And many persons, especially KC faithful listening, would probably beat me up for what I'm about to say. But Javon Hibbert would have been at champs in 2019, I believe. And I should have known of him in terms of what he's capable of. But to be honest, I don't know if it's because I didn't see the event or something like that, but it just never jumped out at me. So I was like, where did this guy come from? And in looking back at the video after I took it, I was like, no, this is different. I have seen very good triple jumpers at the youth and junior level for Jamaica that look good. But when you look at Javon Hibbert, good doesn't describe what he is. This is a guy where he says it, that triple jumping seems to be wired into his DNA. The phases are clean. If you look at a Jonathan Edwards, for example, the world record holder, it's almost comparable in terms of his phases in the long jump, and he only turned 17 this year. He won that silver at only 16 years old. This man is a prodigy, and I think this week he pretty much confirmed an offer that he was going to go to the University of Tennessee, where he'll team up with two other jumpers from KC, Wayne Pinnock and Kerry McLeod. So it's a good jumping program there. But I think this lad is probably the cleanest I have seen since James Beckford. Leighton Levy, a friend of mine, as well, would have echoed similar sentiments in regard to how his phases are. In terms of his performances at champs, if Wayne Pinnock did not jump 805 at his last champs, which broke the Class 1 boys record, which was at the same 787 that Hibbert did at this year's champs, many persons would have been talking more about his long jump than his triple jump effort. That 787 that he did equals the third longest jump ever at champs at Class 1. Leon Gordon would have, the previous record holder, would have also jumped that distance. And only Wayne Pinnock with the new record of 805 and a 795 would have gone farther. So, he's very versatile, Javon Hibbert, for both the long and triple jump. But at 1666, this season alone, I think he has improved his personal best 4 times so far this season. And as you mentioned at the start of the discussion about him, a world leading junior mark of the 1666. So he's going places. And if people get a chance to go on YouTube, for example, just type in Javon Hibbert and look at his phases, his jump phases. It's like he's just a born natural for this. A born natural, super talent, and if managed well, very much will do big things on the senior stage.
Yeah, and another impressive performance that we saw was from Camperdown's Rashawn Clark, record in the Class 1 400 hurdles 49.50. I think it was last year with Javier Brown, 49.86. Rovane Williams of Rhodes Hall did sub 50 back in 2018. Not really a champs-based question, but seeing our struggles in the 400 hurdles over the last maybe decade or more, are you excited about the future of our men's hurdles event after seeing some of these impressive performances at Champs?
Boy, I just got a little shiver down my spine. You know, to be honest, I am. Yes, the on the senior stage, we have had some challenges in potential athletes graduating to what we would want of them on the senior stage. But what gives me hope is that this season, Jahil Hyde, who is the national junior record holder at 48.81, has improved his flat 400 meters. He's actually running a 400 meters today in Bermuda. So if he improves that PB again at 400 meters, I expect that to translate into even faster times for his 400-meter hurdles, hopefully challenging our national record. I say that to say this, that there's a little delay in us getting to the Varholm, Dos Santos side of things, you know, but we can get there. And with a youngster like even a Rashawn Clark now running 49.50, and even Ryan Campbell, who was second in that race, who did 49.52 at Carifta Trials, this is a good program. This is a good feeding ground, really, to push them through to get to faster times at the senior level. So we do have athletes in the pipeline. The worry for me is that when they leave the junior stage is what happens next. A lot of them don't get into the right hands at the right time. So you tend to find that they fall off the map. And we could look at a couple names: Okeen Williams, Stets, Marvin Williams, Stets. These guys were sub 50 runners. Ravine Williams, Rhodes Hall, you mentioned his name. Where they know they're there, you know, but they have not gone on, you know, and not necessarily because they don't have the talent, but potentially because of the environment that they land in. It may not necessarily have been nurturing for them to really use the talent that they have to get to where they need to get. And the hope is that a youngster like Rashawn Clark, who from the looks of some of the social media posts from senior athletes seems to be in very good stead, you know, we hope that he can push on. And I tell people this, you know, in Kenya, in that semifinals, 400-meter hurdle semifinal, Rashawn Clark did the unthinkable by what looks to me to be almost like he stopped. You know, having been passed by the eventual winner of that particular heat, he slowed down almost to a crawl and was passed by two other athletes, and as such, missed out on the final. And, you know, I think that was playing in the back of his head since that time. I said it to somebody yesterday morning at Champs that I feel Rashawn Clark is going to win the 400-meter hurdles, not because he is much better than a Ryan Campbell of Kingston College, but because he has that chip on his shoulder that he wants to lay to rest. And this is the start of it. This is the start of it. It doesn't clear the slate of what happened in Kenya, but it is a start. And I think that this will boost his confidence even further to say, hey, I made a mistake. I'm young, but at the end of the day, I'm still talented. I am going to do what I can to make up amends for what happened in Nairobi. And we can't beat the youngster for that. As I said, he's young, and he seems to be in the company of very good people. So the hope is that he can continue moving on from here. Now the second fastest Jamaican all-time on that junior list, behind Jahil Hyde. So the world is there for the taking.
Yeah. Obviously, we can't talk about all the individual events, else we'd be here all day. But I feel like we have to talk about Javon Blake, Jamaica College's captain, already with the 1,500-meter gold in the bag. In the semis of the 800 meters yesterday, 1 minute 49.00 seconds, just short of the champs record, really was going for it. We know that his personal best 1:47.762, I believe.
Yeah,
yes. After seeing that last night, do you think that he has it in him to get it, or you think that maybe he's going to, you know, probably put his focus on Carifta and try and do probably sub 1 minute 47 there?
Well, that's a very good question, Daniel. You know why? Because I thought that It was very strange that he attempted to go after the record in the semifinals. It was understandable why he did it though, because the pressure of a final may throw you trying to attempt a record out the window.
Mm-hmm.
So it was understandable that he tried to go for the record in the semis. The concern that I have is that from what I'm hearing is that he really wants this record. But having run so fast last evening, I think that he may be a bit leggy going into today's final. I am hoping that he has something extra in the tank, that he can attempt to break it, and the hope that with other athletes pushing him, such as his teammate Handel Roban, who has also gone below the champs record already this season, we're hoping that he can push him as well, and that will give him the record. But I'm still worried that he may be a bit leggy from that run yesterday. Hopefully he got an ice bath and do the business today. But many persons are talking that the focus for him this year is not necessarily the champs record, but he's going after that national junior record, 146.3 by Neville Martin. So that is what I think will be his aim for the rest of the season. Whether he gets it, I don't think that's on for today, to be honest. I tell you this, Daniel, and I tell the listeners, if Javon Blake goes and breaks the national junior record today, I personally will be shocked. If he did it last evening, fine. But tonight, I don't know. I think he has too much in his legs. 2 rounds of 1,500 meters. 2 rounds, well, 1 round of 800 already. Two rounds of 800. So I don't know if he has that energy in him left. But who knows? This is champs. We have seen some very strange things happen. You know, so it will be interesting to see what unfolds later on.
All right. So today is the final day of the championships. We have a whole lot of events, including the 800 that we just spoke about, the 200 meters, the sprint hurdles, the 4x1, 4x4, and the sprint medley. KC leads the boys standing after 21 finals. Edwin Allen leads after 23 finals. Don't mean to put you on the spot. But from what you've seen and what is to come, who do you think will be crowned the champions later tonight?
Well, to be honest, I'm one that I try to stay away from making predictions. For some strange reason, I've avoided it. I don't know why. But at the end of the day, I think this year is somewhat easier. I think KC, unless they do something really, really detrimental to where they are now in terms of where they are or what is coming up for them in terms of finals, they should be home and dry. The question is by how much they will win. I don't see anybody closing that gap too much, even with some of the mishaps that they had in the sprinter this last evening. What I would say though is that had a team like Jamaica College had better fortunes leading up to last evening with some of those mishaps from KC, then today may not be as cut and clear as may happen, but I think KC should be okay. On the girls' side, no Tina or Tia in the 200 meters class 1. Brandy Hall, Bethany Bridge, who replaced them, they're not in the final. Bridge seemed to have gotten an injury coming close to the line, and Hall false started. So that's big points that they would have lost in that particular 200 meters. Will it impact them? Not so sure, because Heidel, for one, if you're chasing champs, you need to have a team in the sprint medley final. Heidel doesn't have a team in the sprint medley final. So that's a potential 12 points that they would have lost. And Edwin Allen seems to have have great depth this season, in the field especially. They are picking up points, and I think they should also be safe. The question that most persons are asking on the boys' side is whether St. Jago will finish ahead of Calabar. That's a question that will be answered later on. We saw Calabar getting a little surge late in the evening yesterday, so that may put them ahead of St. Jago, but both teams are in a decent number of finals this evening, so it should be interesting to see how that happens. It's strange that we're talking about third, but that is where most persons are watching at the moment. But Edwin Allen should be safe on the girls' side, as mentioned, and Casey should be safe on the boys.
All right, that was Donald Smith, track and field announcer, commentator, analyst, and he is the stadium announcer at Champs as well. Well, one of the stadium announcers at Champs, giving us some great insight there and analysis of what we've seen over the last 4 or 5 days. Champs is on right now. Do not turn off your radio, turn off your app, or leave YouTube or Facebook. Well, if you want, I'm not forcing anybody to stay. But Champs is on right now. The 800 meters are on. So points have already started to be shared, but I'm going to give you the updated points. Well, not the updated point standing, but the standings before the 800 meters started right after the break. And then we're also going to have a little fun as well. I'll be joined by 2 very special guests as we play a little Champs quiz. So stay with me on Sports Talk.
Connect with Brata! Enjoy all your favorite apps and more on Jamaica's fastest network. Activate the Prime Brata bundle for as low as $175 by dialing *147 number sign from your Digicel phone or in the My Digicel app. Connect!
Alright, connect with Brata. Digicel Prime Brata. Data can.
How to learn to save. Enough ways to save. You can open a savings account or even start a partner plan with your favorite financial institution. To find out about more ways to save, you can research online or check out the financial products offered at a licensed deposit-taking institution, such as commercial banks, building societies, or merchant banks.
This financial literacy tip was brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy.
This Easter, there's only one choice. It's the juicy, fruity Maxfield Easter buns. Choose the premium brand that stands for consistent quality, excellent customer service, and maximum satisfaction. Find Maxfield Easter buns at supermarkets, outlets, and retailers island-wide. For more information on where to find your Maxfield Easter buns and how to buy and ship worldwide, just visit us at maxfieldbakery.com. Give us a call today at 876-929-3897. This Easter, choose quality. Choose the moist, juicy, fruity Maxfield Easter bun. Choose Maxfield for maximum satisfaction.
Talk and stream all day when you activate any Prime Brata bundle for as low as $175. Enjoy local minutes to stay in touch with friends and family on the go or your yard. Yeah, you dial *147 number sign from your Digicel phone or activate in the My Digicel app. Digicel, made in Jamaica.
Get ready to move inside another Make Me Move Monday coming your way inside Alive 1 to 5 April 11. And as usual, stick around for an uplifting afternoon. 2 o'clock will be a prayer blast. Feature more prayer, more power. 2:15 inside Body Talk. We'll continue to explore some natural and herbal remedies and their benefits. Part 2 with Dr. Orlando Thomas. Then at 3:15, we bring you What Does the Bible Say about Jesus being the ultimate sacrifice. All this and more will come your way inside Alive 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. with me, Sarah, and the chirpy one on the family station, Love 101.
The ISA Boys and Girls Championships is happening at the National Stadium and welcome back to Sports Talk on Love 101 FM. It is currently 40. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to play a special champs quiz shortly. So I'll invite my guests on soon, but I did say that I would update you on the point standings. That is before the 800 meters finals in all classes. They have begun. Some of the races have completed. So that means schools already like Edwin and JC and KC already start accumulating points. But before that, let me just give you the girls' point standings after 23 finals. So Clarendon College is 10th with 22 points. Camperdown 9th with 25 points. St. Catherine High 8th with 26 points. Immaculate Conception, 29 points. Wolmer's Girls, 6th with 49 points. Excelsior, because my mother got here, I guess, woo too. 5th with 53 points. Homewood Technical, 4th with 82 points. 3rd, St. Jago with 116 points. In second, Hydel with 134. And leading the way, as expected, Edwin Allen, 184 points. So remember, that is before the 800 meters that are going on now. After 21 finals on the boys, in 10th, Petersfield with 19. Excelsior, 9th on 20 points. Herbert Morrison with 20.33 points. I never understand why them always have decimal points. Like, why them? Anyways, in 7th, Stets, St. Elizabeth Technical, 29 points. 6th, Wolmer's Boys, oh my gosh, with 36 points. Edwin Allen, 5th with 43 points. St. Jago, 4th with 67 points. Top 3, 3rd, Calabar, 78 points. 2nd, Jamaica College, 138.33 points. And unfortunately, leading the way, Kingston College, 201 points. So these were the point standings before the 800 meter finals them did start. So I'm sure when you start watching your TV or listening to your radio, you'll get the official point standings there. All right. Big up to everybody who has shouted me out so far. Marverine, Hopi, Camille, Sonia, Kevar, Marcia, Pauline, thank you so much for joining me. Let me just look at my WhatsApp. Ariel says the interview was excellent, so refreshing. I must say it's an excellent choice of person to interview. Some persons wouldn't have thought of that. Donald Smith is very knowledgeable, and the knowledge was extracted by the excellent, thought-provoking questions you asked Daniel. I did not pay her to say that. She said that on her own. Thank you so much, Ariel. This is Stacy. Stacy says, I must say to that young man, which is newbie of Kingston College, who won silver in the class 100 meters, to continue do what he's doing on again. We must not tell someone they are not good enough in life, because you will never know. And thank you also for your greetings, Angela. All right. So now, who I must bring in first, the KC man or the Wilmers man? All right. I'm going to bring in the Wilmers man first, simply because we're related. So this is David Blake. As you realize, we kind of look alike. But yeah, this is my brother, David. David, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Blake.
All right, fantastic. And then I am now joined by the KC man, Caleb Paradox. Caleb, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, man, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Good afternoon, David.
Afternoon, Caleb.
All right. I'm so glad that you never decided to deck out in a tie or nothing like that, because I would have to remove you, you know?
No. I know you kind of.
Yeah,
but I know you have a personal battle to fight with KC, so I'm leaving that alone. Right?
All right.
When you reach up, you can fight that battle.
Oh, wow. All right. So, just quick thoughts. Less than a minute from you both, starting with you, David. What has been your favorite moment, event, athlete from the championship so far this year?
So for me, it has been the class 100 meter for girls. I know a lot of people had had one person to win and was doubting another person, the Clayton twin. But she proved her pedigree, and she has been a winner over the years in champs. And we know Brianna has not been in champs for the last 2 years. So she proved her quality and she came out on top. So that's for me, that's my favorite moment so far.
All right. So for this is for the love management. David can host the show when I'm not here. All right. Caleb, your favorite moment or athlete or event so far?
I think I have two. I have one on the boys and one on the girls side, and it's athletes because of what they've done so far. So on the girls side, I'm gonna go with Kerry Cahill from Heidel.
Mm-hmm.
The big 1289 last night, huge in the 100-meter hurdles, and then the commanding record equaling victory in the 100 meters. I think she's probably the best performing sprinter at champs this year on the girls side, and it slipped under the radar because of the battle with the Clayton twins versus Brianna Liston.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the boys' side, I don't think this gets talked about enough, but Jadon Hibbert came up with two of the single biggest jumps ever seen on Jamaican soil by a junior. In the long jump, the only person to ever jump further than Jaden Hibbert in the history of Jamaica as a junior is Wayne Pinnock. And he has two jumps higher than that. So I think that is big. He equaled the long-standing record that Wayne Pinnock broke a few years ago. And then the 16.66 in the triple jump is simply unheard of in high school jumps at all. This is huge stuff, and I think a lot of it has slipped under the radar in terms of the quality that Jaden Hubert possesses.
All right. So let's get into the quiz. So first off, I'm going to ask you guys some general questions. So I'll start. Let me not be I'm not going to show any favorites. I'm going to start with the KC man first. So 5 questions each. And so first question to you, Caleb. Where was the very first boys champs held in 1910?
I want to say Sabina Park.
Sabina Park is correct. So 1 point for Caleb. David, champs is usually hosted during the Easter period, but which month did the very first champs take place?
That's an excellent question, Mr. Host. I believe the first champs took place early in February.
No, it took place in June. June was the answer there. Caleb, which school won the first girls' championships in 1957?
First girls' championships. St. Hilda's.
St. Hilda's is correct. 2-0, David. Which year did the girls' champs merge with the boys' champs? Donald said it earlier as well.
Excellent question again, Mr. Host. I believe it was in the 70s. I'm gonna say about 76.
1999. All right. I probably should have asked it the other way. Caleb, Jamaica celebrates its 60th year of independence. Which boys' school won champs back in 1962, the year of independence?
62.
Mm-hmm.
KC.
All right, 3-0. David, as I mentioned, Jamaica celebrates 60th year of independence. Which girls' school won champs in 1962? And think about it.
1962. Excellent question again, Mr. Host. That would definitely be St. Diego.
St. Andrew High School for girls. Think about it, bro. Think about it. Caleb, which school was the last school outside of Kingston and St. Andrew to win boys champs?
I should know this.
5 seconds.
Jago.
St. Jago is correct. Wow. Come on, David. Which school, David, was the last school in Kingston and St. Andrew to win girls' champs?
Boy. Very excellent question again. Outside of, you said outside or Kingston?
The last school in Kingston and St. Andrew to win girls' champs.
Can you use it in a sentence? It's
5
definitely
seconds.
St. Andrew High School for girls.
1978, the Queen's School. Final question in this round, Caleb. 4-0 so far. Before 2019, yeah, I really should have met David answer the question first. Before 2019, when was the last time KC won boys champs?
Before 2019, 2009.
All right, 5-0. Sorry, David. When was the last time, David, Homewood Technical won girls champs?
The answer is 2010.
2013. All right. So Caleb is currently leading 5-love. That's all right, David. That's all right. You can come back, my bro. No bias here, by the way, everyone. If you're listening, this is Caleb and David. We're currently playing a champs quiz. So this is the buzzer section, right? So we don't have no buzzer. So it's whoever call him name first. All right. And you lose.
As in call my name?
As in call your own name so I can identify. You lose 2 points for every wrong answer, and you gain 2 points for every right answer, like regular quiz. All right, first question. Which national hero led his school to victory in 19... Okay, Caleb.
Norman Manley.
All right, 7-love. Second question. Which schools... Oh, this one is worth 4, by the way, because you have to name 2 schools. Which schools are the only schools to have won both boys and girls champs?
Caleb.
All right, Caleb.
Jagon Veer. Jagon Excelsior.
Oh, sorry. Wrong answer came first. So Excelsior and St. Jago. So back down to 5-0. Question 3. Name 2 former gold medalists for Wolmer's at Boys Champs that competed at last year's. David. All right. Go ahead, David.
Julian Fort, Jahil Hyde.
That competed at last year's Tokyo Olympics. Julian Fort and Jahil Hyde is correct. So 5-2. Which girls' school holds the record in all classes of the 400 meters?
David,
all right.
I want
5 seconds. No more. Homewood is the answer. So back down to 5-0. 4 questions to go, David. So we'll see if you can come back. Simone Faces 22.71 is the fastest 200-meter race at Girls' Champs. Kevona Davis came close to bettering the time. Very close. What time did she do? 22.71. She came very close. What time did she do? 5 seconds. 4. Very close. All right, time. She came very close to 22.71. She did 22.72. All right. Third to last question. Kingston College's Wayne Pinnock currently has records in which 2 events?
Caleb.
My name is David.
Caleb first.
The class 1 long jump and the class 1 110-meter hurdles.
All right, that is correct. So 7-love. Come on, David, keep fighting. No, penultimate question. Veer Technical won girls champs in 1979 and didn't lose for quite some time. In which year did their incredible streak end?
Caleb.
Caleb, all right.
1993.
I wonder if you have some like special book in your head or something. 1993 is correct. 9 Love. All right, David. Again, just for you, I make this last question worth 10 points, but you also going to lose 10 points if you get it wrong. Final question. Okay, let me not say which popular, because everybody know. This popular William Knibb athlete currently holds the Class 1 200-meter record. What is the record? Popular William Knibb athlete, record in Class 1 200 meters. What is the time?
Let me try. David.
David, all right. Let's go.
20.25.
20.25 is correct.
That's in my head.
That is correct. And David, who struggled the entire champs, comes in to win at the death.
But that's not biased at all.
No, not not biased at all. I think everybody knows who the true winner is, but I have to feel, I have to make my brother feel good. So the winner is David Blake. David, what do you have to say for yourself?
So sometimes it's not about the swiftness. I'm more of a long distance runner, so you allow the runner to go ahead and you just catch him at the line.
All right, and Caleb, how does it feel to sort of taste defeat at the very end?
We fall, but we don't yield. So leave it that way.
All right, Caleb, David, thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate you guys taking the time, and make sure to enjoy the rest of the champs. All right, guys. So much blessings.
Blessings. Thanks for having us.
That's David Blake there with the manners. Usually Malika better than that, I will admit. But yeah, usually I like better than that. So that is our special champs quiz for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Big up Giselle, cheering on David. It kind of worked in the end. God loves the underdog. That is so true. Thank you so much, Sharon Barnes, who big up David and Caleb as well. And thank you to everybody who left messages, who tuned in and everything. Unfortunately, I have to go because I need to get home and watch these races, right? So remember that Sports Talk is brought to you weekdays, like it happen to Monday to Fridays. On Saturdays, by Jamaica Customs Agency, Country Above Self. Remember to watch and listen to champs. You know where to find it. I'm not to tell you that. And then we can probably talk about it again next week. But yeah, join me next week, Saturday, 1 to 2 p.m. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care and enjoy your weekend.